Trauma is not just about major life events, it's also about the smaller, ongoing experiences that chip away at our sense of safety and well-being. These experiences can range from emotional neglect in childhood to bullying in school or a toxic work environment. Trauma leaves a lasting impact, shaping how we react to stress, form relationships, and navigate the world. It affects our nervous system, leaving us in a state of hypervigilance or numbness. Trauma can manifest in various ways, impacting our physical and mental health. We might experience anxiety, depression, or difficulty concentrating. Our sleep might be disrupted, and we might struggle with chronic pain. Trauma can also lead to unhealthy coping mechanisms, such as substance abuse or self-harm. Understanding the impact of trauma is the first step towards healing. It allows us to recognize that our reactions are not our fault and that recovery is possible. The effects of trauma can be subtle, often disguised as personality traits or quirks. Recognizing these patterns is crucial to breaking free from the grip of trauma. It's about understanding your present struggles and creating a brighter future. By acknowledging the impact of trauma, you can begin to take control of your healing journey. The fight response is a primal instinct designed to protect us from danger. When we perceive a threat, our bodies flood with adrenaline, preparing us to defend ourselves. Our heart rate increases, our muscles tense, and our focus narrows. In a life or death situation, the fight response can be life-saving. However, when triggered in everyday life, it can lead to aggression, anger, and difficulty managing emotions. When the fight response is activated in non-threatening situations, it can create conflict in our relationships. We might become easily irritated, quick to argue, or defensive when challenged. Learning to manage the fight response involves recognizing our triggers and developing healthier coping mechanisms. This might include deep breathing exercises, mindfulness practices, or seeking professional therapy. It's about learning to pause before reacting, allowing ourselves to process our emotions before responding. The goal is not to suppress the fight response entirely, but to regulate it. We want to be able to access our assertiveness when needed without resorting to aggression. This involves developing self-awareness and healthy coping strategies. The flight response is another primal instinct designed to help us escape from danger. When we perceive a threat, our bodies prepare us to run. Our heart rate increases, our breathing becomes shallow, and we experience a surge of energy. This response can be life-saving in dangerous situations. But when triggered in everyday life, it can lead to avoidance, anxiety, and social isolation. When the flight response is activated in non-threatening situations, we might find ourselves avoiding social gatherings, withdrawing from relationships, or procrastinating on tasks. Managing the flight response involves learning to regulate our nervous system. This might include relaxation techniques such as yoga or meditation. It might also involve gradually exposing ourselves to situations that trigger our anxiety, building our tolerance and reducing our fear response. The goal is not to eliminate the flight response entirely, but to learn to manage it. We want to be able to navigate challenging situations without feeling overwhelmed by anxiety. This involves developing self-awareness, recognizing our triggers, and building our resilience. The freeze response is a survival mechanism that kicks in when fighting or fleeing isn't an option. It's a state of shutdown, where we become immobile and emotionally numb. Our heart rate slows, our breathing becomes shallow, and we might experience a sense of dissociation. While this response can protect us in life-threatening situations, it can also have long-term consequences. When the freeze response is chronically activated, it can lead to feelings of helplessness, hopelessness, and detachment. Healing from a chronic freeze response involves reconnecting with our bodies and emotions. This might include somatic therapy, which focuses on releasing trapped trauma from the body. It might also involve mindfulness practices, which help us become more aware of our physical sensations and emotional states. The goal is to regain a sense of agency and connection. Learning to recognize and regulate the freeze response is crucial for reclaiming our lives. It's about moving from a state of shutdown to a state of engagement. The fawn response is a survival strategy that involves appeasing or pleasing others, often at our own expense. It's a way of avoiding conflict and seeking safety by becoming overly compliant and accommodating. This response can develop in environments where expressing our needs or setting boundaries was met with punishment or rejection. When the fawn response is chronically activated, it can lead to feelings of resentment, exhaustion, and a loss of self. Healing from the fawn response involves learning to set healthy boundaries, prioritize our own needs, and develop a stronger sense of self. This might involve assertiveness training, therapy, or engaging in activities that foster self-discovery and self-compassion. The goal is not to become aggressive or demanding, but to find a healthy balance between meeting our own needs and respecting the needs of others. It's about learning to communicate assertively, setting clear boundaries and prioritizing our own well-being. It's about reclaiming our power and living authentically. Recognizing your own trauma responses is a crucial step towards healing. It involves paying attention to your physical sensations, emotional states, and behavioral patterns. Do you tend to become angry and defensive when challenged? Do you avoid social situations or withdraw from relationships? Do you find yourself constantly seeking approval or neglecting your own needs? Start by observing your reactions in different situations. Notice how your body feels when you're stressed or anxious. Do you experience muscle tension, shallow breathing, or a racing heart? Pay attention to your thoughts and emotions. Journaling can be a powerful tool for identifying your trauma responses. Take some time each day to reflect on your experiences and notice any recurring patterns. Once you start to recognize your trauma responses, you can begin to develop healthier coping mechanisms. It's about developing self-awareness and taking control of your reactions. Beginning your healing journey is a courageous act of self-care. It's about acknowledging your past experiences and choosing to move forward with intention. It's about recognizing that healing is a process, not a destination. There will be ups and downs, but with each step you take, you're moving closer to a place of greater peace and wholeness. Start by creating a safe and supportive environment for yourself. This might involve setting boundaries with toxic people, creating a calming space in your home, or engaging in activities that bring you joy and relaxation. Seek professional support if needed. A therapist can provide guidance and support as you navigate your healing journey. They can help you understand your trauma responses, develop healthier coping mechanisms, and process difficult emotions. Remember that healing is not linear. Be patient with yourself and allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling without judgment. Healing takes time, and it's okay to take breaks when needed. Building resilience is an essential part of the healing process. It's about developing the ability to bounce back from adversity and navigate challenges with greater ease. This involves cultivating inner strength, developing healthy coping mechanisms, and building a supportive network. Engage in activities that nourish your mind, body, and spirit. This might include exercise, spending time in nature, practicing mindfulness, or pursuing creative endeavors. It's about finding activities that bring you joy and help you reconnect with your inner strength. Connect with supportive people who understand your experiences. This might involve joining a support group, connecting with friends and family, or seeking guidance from a mentor. Sharing your story with others can be incredibly healing and can help you feel less alone in your journey. Remember that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. Reaching out for support is a sign of courage, not weakness. Embracing hope is essential for healing and moving forward. It's about believing that change is possible and that you have the strength to create a brighter future. It's about recognizing that your past does not define you and that you have the power to shape your own destiny. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a dear friend. Recognize that you are worthy of love and belonging, regardless of your past experiences. Focus on your strengths and celebrate your accomplishments. Acknowledge how far you've come and give yourself credit for your resilience. Embrace the journey and trust that you have the strength to create a life filled with joy, meaning, and purpose. Healing is a journey, not a destination.